Do you feel like you've been stretching and stretching those hamstrings and they still feel super tight? Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa, and you're gonna wanna stop stretching those hamstrings and do this one thing first. Go grab your mats and let's do this. Before we get into the exercises, let's just have a starting point so we can see how these exercises helped us. So I want you to just bend forward, try and touch those toes, and just kind of see where you start at. Where do your hands land? What do you feel in the back of your thighs? What do you feel in your low back? And then just gently roll yourself, come back up. Remember that so that we can come back to it afterwards. We're gonna start out by rolling up our yoga mat. If you have a towel that you can roll up or a pillow, you could also use that as well. You're gonna roll that up to give yourself two or 3 inches and step on that. The heels are going to be down and your toes are gonna be up on the mat. We're going to send our hips back and slide forward just till you feel a little bit of a pull. The key is to send the legs back and then pull yourself up. You don't wanna feel a really big, strong pull. You just stop when you start to feel that little bit. Inhale down, exhale, come back up. And we're just gonna keep gliding in and out. So this is that one thing you wanna do, a nerve glide. So sometimes when we stretch and stretch our muscles, it's not actually the muscles that are tight, the nerves can be tight. And we wanna be able to glide those nerves back and forth to help ease that tension. It's a great way to calm our nervous system down, which is what could be causing the tightness instead of the muscles themselves. Good, make sure you've got equal weight on all of those toes. Send those hips back. Keep lifting that tailbone towards the sky as we go forward. Keep that back nice and flat. If you start to notice your back rounding, pull yourself up. So with nerve glides, you can do about 10 to 15 of them, and you can do them multiple times throughout the day. And as we've been gliding here, you might even notice that you're starting to go a little bit further. But the key with nerve glides is that you don't want to overstretch your nerves. That's why you stop just at the point where you start to feel it. Let's head forward one more time. Nice. And then pull yourself, come back up. Now, keeping the feet here, we're gonna take our right leg, step that right leg back, and the left leg is gonna stay straight. Left hip pulls back. We're gonna lift that tailbone towards the sky and then slide forward and then pull yourself, come back up. Keep pulling that left hip back, squeeze those thighs forward, keep your back nice and flat, and then pull yourself, come back up. And we're stopping just before we feel that pull in the hamstrings. And you're noticing what your left side feels like compared to your right side. Keep pressing down into the foot. Make sure you're not rolling to the outside. And use your breath. Inhale down, lift the tailbone, pull yourself, come back up. Nice work. We're gonna do 2 more times. Awesome job. Last one. Good. And then we'll take that right foot, step your right foot back, and the left foot goes back. And it's not this really big, wide stance. Pull the right hip back. Those hips are nice and even. Lift the tailbone towards the sky as you float forward. Squeeze those thighs. You feel the little pull, and then you back right off. Hinge forward, and then lift and come back up. I love these nerve glides. These are great. You can sneak them in throughout the day. If you've been sitting at your desk for a really long time, stand up and do the nerve glides. It'll make a big difference in that tightness feeling. Gently slide forward, lift that tailbone, come back up. How does this side feel compared to your other side? What do you notice? Nice work. 2 more here. Keep pulling that right hip back, lift that tailbone. Last one. Good. And then we can just unroll the mat to step off the towel or what was underneath your feet. We've got 1 more for our nerve glides. We'll take our right leg, step your right leg back, Not a huge wide stance. Pull that left hip back, lift the tailbone, and you're gonna float forward. Your hands can be supported on your thighs, or if you have something nearby you can hold on to. We're just gonna lift your tailbone towards the sky. You're gonna feel a little bit more of a pull, and then you'll tuck your tailbone underneath. Lift that tailbone towards the sky, and then tuck underneath. As you lift is when you'll feel more of a pull, and then exhale, tuck underneath. It should take that pull off. Inhale, lift, keep pressing into those feet. And we're not testing your balance. You can definitely hold on to something because you want those nerves gliding back and forth. Use your breath. 2 more times. And see if your upper body starts to get into it, or can you just move the low back, pelvis? It's not going to move a ton, just a little bit. Pull yourself, come back up, and then we'll switch. Take that left leg back, straighten out your right leg, keep those hips nice and even. Lift that tailbone towards the sky and float forward. Feel that end point like, okay, that's about it for me. If you want to hold on, you can. Lift the tailbone, ooh, and then tuck the tailbone. Ooh, my right side's definitely a little more zingy today, and you might notice that from side to side. Lift the tailbone, use your breath. And again, not forcing these, just being nice and gentle. Lift the tailbone and tuck. Keep pressing into those feet. Squeeze your thighs. Good for 3, 2. Last 1. Pull yourself, come back up. And then just step those feet together. And we're gonna test. So I want you to fold forward and see, what do you notice? What do you feel in the back of your thighs? Can you go further? Palms are like all the way down. And then pull yourself, come back up. So if you noticed a really big difference here and you feel like your hamstrings are super tight all of the time, it is nerve glides. Getting these nerves to glide back and forth is what's gonna help you versus stretching and stretching, which sometimes just irritates those nerves. I'd love to know down in the comments, what did you notice? Could you go further? Did you notice one side was tighter than the other side? Did you find these nerve glides helpful? And also check that description box for other resources for you. Keep up the good work, keep coming back to your breath, and don't overstretch those hamstrings. Until next time, namaste.